Good day, everyone. I am here again sharing some yoga with you. I'm not sure how many of you are joining me live. If you are here, welcome. I hope that you can hear me okay. Still, I moved my mat back a little as we will be doing some standing postures today. I also have a little music playing in the background. So any feedback is welcomed as to how these videos are coming out. I'm here for you and I want you to have a great experience. Today we will be doing a more active, lively practice as we will be working with the Yoga Sutra 2.16, which, if you don't know what the Yoga Sutras are, they are a book of guidelines, a spiritual, scriptural text for yoga that gives us guidelines on how to practice different things that we can focus on, ways that we can shift our energy. So today is 2.16, and that Yoga Sutra tells us that future suffering can be avoided. Now, realistically, all future suffering may not be avoided. A lot of it can be, because a lot of it can stem from the beliefs and thoughts and ideas that we tell ourselves. So if you can pay attention to those things and let them go, you can truly avoid a lot of future suffering. Today we are going to build a practice by building a little more strength and fire in our bodies. And I would invite you to offer up any old stories and thoughts and belief systems that you may have about yourself, your life, relationships, maybe your job, maybe things that are even happening in this crazy world right now. Offer them up to the yoga fire. The ancient yogis did this in a practice almost as if they were sending something to a sacrifice, sacrificing up, burning away things that no longer served them for purification of mind. That is the true essence of what yoga is. So without any further ado, we're going to start with the standing centering today. So please join me with your feet about hip distance apart. Let your knees be relaxed and not locked here, and just bring your arms down by your sides with your palms facing forward, and close your eyes. One of the ways that we can help avoid future suffering is to always return to that place within that is changeless, no matter what is happening in our world. Beginning at the bottoms of your feet, bring your awareness into sensation. Experiencing the tops of your feet as sensation, your ankles as sensation, your lower legs as sensation, knees, thighs, pelvis. Bringing your awareness up into your torso, your belly and lower back, mid-back and chest, ribs, shoulder blades and collarbones. Experiencing both arms as sensation. Your neck and head, until you can bring your entire body into your awareness, just as sensation. Bring your awareness even deeper in now, and pay attention to the quality of your breath. The natural breath as it breathes your body while you're standing here, maybe starting to build some heat already. Squeezing muscle around bone, building the standing posture. The breath is breathing your body, inviting in vital nutrients to support your tissues and organs and systems, and expelling waste products on your exhalations, feeding the plants and the trees. Take an internal temperature. How are you feeling? What thoughts do you have running around in your head today? Travel even deeper in to the belief system that you hold true for your life. Allow yourself to challenge those beliefs today on your mat, welcoming them here, bringing them out of hiding for observation, to bear witness to, but not judging. And then bring yourself even deeper in now to that place deep inside of you that remains still and steady, just like the very depths of the ocean or a lake, unaffected by any ripples or waves happening at the surface. When you can reside in and visit that place within frequently, you will have the knowledge, the innate wisdom for right action. Responding from a place of clarity and not reacting from a place of suffering or chaos. Remembering that was a very quick journey inward. But you can go there whenever you want to. As we start to come back out, bringing our awareness back to the room and back to the space together, return your attention to your breath and start to deepen your breath. Inhaling, fill the lungs completely. Expand the entirety of your torso like a barrel. Front, back, sides. Exhale, release, and let it go. Inhaling and exhaling. As we've done in the past, using the breath to seal your commitment to your yoga practice today. Arrive here on your mat. And then bring your attention back to physical sensations in the body as you slowly begin to blink your eyes open. Coming back to the here and now. Let's start out with breath of joy. As you let the knees continue to be soft, you can even bounce a little bit, make sure that everything is relaxed. Shake up your arms, shake up your legs, releasing any residual tension. Breath of joy, you may have done this with me before. I know many of you have. It's 3 inhalations followed by a very forceful exhalation. I will show you one, and then we will do one together. So when you exhale hard out, like you're throwing whatever no longer serves you, just throwing it away. Join me. 2 more. Come back up to stand. Spread your feet apart a little bit more. You can let your toes be splayed out to the side and start to swing your arms around as if you had a coat on and your arms were not in the sleeves. And you're using your body and your torso to try to get those sleeves to slap around. You can even let them slap onto your hips. Bend your knees. Come up on your toes. Really get into it. Feel this in the torso. Feel it in the ribs and the shoulders. Just starting to build some energy. And then slowly let the arms come to rest. Keep your feet right where they are. You might even spread them apart a little bit more, maybe a little bit more than hip distance. We're going to come into a little flow with our squat. Inhale your arms out to a nice little star. Take a peek up at the ceiling if it's okay. And as you exhale, Bring the palms together and start to lower the hips down toward the floor. Inhale. Make yourself into a star. Exhale. Squat. You can have a couple of blocks underneath your sits bones if you would like that. A couple of books. A little stool. One more time. Let's come all the way down into our squat and land. So you may have to wiggle your feet around a little bit. Press your elbows into your knees and your knees into your elbows. Come into a nice prayer position at your heart center. Let your sits bones be very heavy down toward the floor. Close your eyes for a few breaths. This can be a very intense pose for many, many people. Please take care of yourselves. If you would like to use blocks, you can place them right underneath where you are seated and get the exact same effect. Let's find a few nice deep breaths here in our squat. Let the belly puff out through the gate of the legs. Blink your eyes open. Stretch your right arm out long. Take your left hand onto your left knee and take a peek over your left shoulder, coming into a little squat twist. Begin to slide the left arm straight and slide the right hand onto the right knee. Slide the right arm once again forward. Bring the hands right down onto the floor and take a nice forward fold. Let the head hang heavy. Curl up into a ball. Start to bring your hips up and come forward onto your hands. Begin to straighten your legs. You can move your blocks over to the side for now if you were using them. Place your hands on your hips and with a nice neutral spine, come all the way back to standing. Bring your feet together about hip distance apart. Clasp your hands together. Turn your palms out and stretch them overhead. Now drop the shoulders and relax them. Stretch the left side body, the right side body. One more time, each side. And the next time, drop your left hand and stretch the right arm up overhead. Keeping the gaze up toward the sky keeps the chest open. Inhale the left arm back up, and let's take a little side bend. Keep that left foot rooted. Inhale your way back up. This time bring your arms down and take a little twist. The right hand can find the left hip, and the left hand can be right on the back of your sacrum. And let's take that twist to the other side. You can take a peek over the shoulder. See if anything has changed since the last time you looked back there. Exhale and release. Once again, shake everything out. And let's turn to face the top of our mat. You may be facing me. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see the practice with a better view. Inhale your arms up high overhead. Let the shoulders relax down the back. As you exhale, fold forward with a nice neutral spine. Place your hands on your shins Inhale to a nice half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, fold. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale to a nice half lift. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor and start to step back into a downward facing dog. Place the hands flat on the floor with equal weight among them, about shoulder distance apart. Feet are about hip width distance apart. The belly is slightly pulled in. Bend your knees a lot here and really tip your tail high to the sky. Once you get your spine in a nice neutral position, you can start to lower one heel and then the other toward the floor, just stretching out the back of the leg. Swaying your hips side to side. Come up on your tippy toes, tip your tail high to the sky one more time, and then slowly lower them down to the floor. Take 3 deep breaths. Holding downward facing dog can be a great opportunity to build some fire and some heat. Notice if you're unnecessarily holding, so bring a softness to the shoulders even though they're working. Scoot your feet back maybe an inch or two and stretch right into a plank pose. Everything is charged up and working. Gaze is down toward the floor. You're in a nice straight line. Spin your inner thighs up toward the sky and isometrically squeeze the arms and legs toward midline. And then find your breath. Inhale, press your hips back for a downward facing dog. Exhale, come back into plank pose. Always know knees down is an option. You can place the feet flat on the floor, still come into a nice straight line with the belly tucked in. Inhale, flatten the foot. Inhale, come up into a nice high kneeling lunge. Find a few breaths here. Always find a spot to gaze at to keep yourself steady and balanced and focused. One more big breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Curl your back toes under. Spin your back foot flat so that your toes are now facing the long edge of your mat. And press your way up into a nice warrior two. The front knee is bent, aligned over the front ankle. The knee is inching out toward the baby toe. Make sure your arms are coming straight out from your shoulders and take a peek over that front middle fingernail. Squeezing muscle around bone, giving yourself the strength that you need. Belly is slightly tucked in, and you can still find your breath. One more big breath in. As you exhale, windmill your arms back down into a high lunge position. Step your right foot back, come into a plank pose. Knees up or knees down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Come down into a nice low kneeling lunge. Find some breath. One more big breath in. Exhale, float the hands back down to the floor. Curl the back toes under. Flatten that foot out so that the edge of your foot is parallel with the back of your mat. And windmill your arms open into a warrior two on this side. Let your hips sink down toward the floor. Find your gaze point. Keep the front knee inching out toward the baby toe. Try spinning the back thigh, the back inner thigh toward the back of your mat, and the inner front thigh up toward the ceiling, and see what that does with your pelvic alignment. Maybe you're building some heat. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, windmill the arms back down. Step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. Hang down. Let the top of the head hang down heavy toward the floor. The hands can rest comfortably on the floor, or you can use blocks. You can also place your hands on your shins if that would feel supportive. Inhale to that nice halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step back into a downward facing dog. Exhale, settle into your dog. Remember to tip the tail. Let the heels sink toward the floor. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Coming into a high lunge. Once again, spin that back foot flat. Windmill your arms up. Let's come into warrior two. Set up your pose. Release the details of the physical posture and find your breath. Building the container to play and explore and invite out all of our thoughts and feelings. As you stand in a pose that is more strenuous, you start to become maybe irritated or impatient. Just notice what's happening. Drop the back hand and spin the top arm up toward the sky. If it's okay, look up toward your top hand. If not, take a peek down at your back foot. Take care of your neck. Come back into warrior two. Bend the front elbow. Place it lightly on your thigh. So at any time, I could lift my arm up. I'm not going to sink too much into that. You can bring your arms straight up toward the sky. I like to turn my hand and place the back of my hand right on my lower back. It keeps my chest spinning, my top shoulder spinning open and back. Maybe you can sink your hips down an inch more. Saying hello to the muscles in your legs as they start maybe shaking or protesting. You are not suffering during this yoga class. It's okay to even lift the corners of your mouth. If a yogi smiles in an empty room and no one is there to see it, is she really smiling? I say yes. Let's take one more breath here. Yogini, if you're female. Inhale, come out into warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Your quadriceps say thank you very much. As you glide forward, we're coming into triangle pose. Place that bottom hand somewhere on your leg. You can place the back of the hand up against your leg. Stretching the top arm up high to the sky. Use the back of that hand on your lower leg to spin you open. Pulling the belly button in. Finding your breath. Let's take one more big breath in. As you blow it out, let the exhalation pull you back up to center. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your feet in a little bit. And there's nothing like a goddess pose to stoke a fire. Let's bring the toes out and the heels in. As you start to bend into your goddess, You may need to adjust or wiggle around your feet a little bit until you find a good stance. Once you do that, bring your arms out to a nice T and then simply bend your elbows and splay your hands forward. Close your eyes here. Sink down 1 more inch and find your breath. What is it, one thing that you can let go of today? And offer it up to the burning sensations that you may feel in your muscles, to the heat that you're building in your body. Offer it up as a sacrifice. Let your yoga practice purify it. Let it go. Offer it up to something bigger than you. If you believe in God, offer it up to God, source, universe, whatever you believe in. Drop it. It's a burden. 5 more breaths. You can do this. We can do anything for 5 breaths. Inhale, slowly straighten the legs. Bring your arms down by your sides. And let's just shake it out. Swing, empty coat sleeves. Give yourself a little break. Come back to center. Place one hand on your heart and the other one on top of that. Close your eyes. Feel your heart beating. Something is happening. We're building strength and building heat. Open your eyes and let's turn and face the opposite end of the mat. That way you can continue to watch me on the video depending on where you have your device set up. Start with a nice inhale, cleansing breath. Take a peek up at the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands all the way to the floor and right away step back with the right leg. Let's spin up into warrior 2 on this side. And if we already did this leg, do the other side. I'm getting confused with my video. I think we're good. Let the hips sink. Let that knee inch out toward the baby toe. Keep the legs charged up, hugging muscle around bone. Stay strong, belly button is pulled in. Gaze point is middle finger or beyond. Let the gaze settle the mind. One more big breath in. As you exhale, let the back hand fall down toward the leg and the front hand float up toward the sky. Sink into that front leg even more. How sensational can you make this practice? Inhale back up to warrior 2. Come forward with that front elbow bent and settle into a nice side angle. Remember, front arm is just lightly resting on the thigh. Bring that back of the hand to rest at your lower back. Spin open and find your breath. Inhale your way back up to warrior 2 and straighten that front leg. Quadriceps say thank you on this side. As you slowly glide out, we come into triangle pose on this side. Place the hand somewhere on the leg. Stretch the arm up high. Pull the belly button in. Inhale, back to warrior two. Place your hands on your hips. Slowly walk your feet together. Come back to the front of your mat. Inhale your arms up high. Exhale, let's fold here and come into a nice ragdoll. So the feet are going to be hip distance apart. Bend the knees a lot. Let the torso rest right on the thighs. Bend your elbows and let your hands just rest in the nice little corners that you've made of your elbows, your 90-degree angles. Let the head hang heavy. Lower body's working to keep you upright. Upper body's cascading forward like a waterfall. Take advantage of the 16-pound head at the top of your cervical spine. It is making space in between your vertebrae. Your chiropractor will thank you for that one. Couple more breaths. Release your hands down to the floor and come all the way down to the floor. Face the camera. We're going to build a fire with our fire lock pose. If you need something to sit on, feel free to use a blanket or a pillow if you want to pad your sits bones. Let's start by having the left leg underneath. So your left leg, your hip is going to be coming straight out, your knee, is coming straight out from your hip, and you'll have a parallel lower leg. Take your top leg and rest it on top of that leg. You may have to adjust your seat once you get there. Watch out for this little pointy bone, your malleolus. It can be painful if it is sticking into the side of your thigh. So if it is, just move your foot over a little bit. You can see I have a nice little space here, so I might take a block and tuck it in if it's uncomfortable, giving myself something to land on, or I could just hang out here. Sit up nice and tall, tent your fingers, and push into them to come to a nice tall seat. Let the crown of the head reach up toward the sky. You may be feeling a very decent stretch right here already. If you want more, you can begin to walk your fingertips forward, letting the pelvis tip forward. More and more and more, until eventually you curl and hover over this nice fire that you have built yourself. I'm going to stay upright because I'm getting a nice stretch right where I am here. Let's find our breath. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to that hip. Remembering we want significant resistance in the tissues, meaning we have come to our edge. A mild to moderate sensation. 2 to 5 on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is no sensation, 10 is extreme pain. No burning, numbness, tingling, pins and needles. Use those as your measuring sticks. Play at your edge. Let the breath soften any tension. We warmed the muscles up, we worked them and strengthened them. Now we're asking them to get out of the way and relax so that we can get into the deeper hip structures. Our ligaments and tendons and joint capsules. We're stretching and compressing and stressing just enough to motivate the body to lay down more fibers to make these tissues stronger. Stronger and longer is the name of the game. And 3 more breaths will get us there. Find that barrel breath that we built at the beginning of class, expanding the rib cage on all sides. Slowly bringing the torso up first, and then you may use your hands to unwind your legs. And these shapes can be more sensational coming out of them than when you have gone into them. So take care, wiggle your legs around a little bit before we come on to the other side. This time, the right leg is going to be on the bottom. Let's build our fire with our logs. Left leg on top. No 2 sides are alike, so you may notice right out of the gate that your shape or your pose looks different. That's totally fine. Remember, we're inviting the shape into our bodies and not the other way around, forcing our bodies into poses. Sit up nice and tall, maintain a neutral spine. Stay here if you're already feeling that you are at your edge, or if you need more, start to tip forward at the pelvis first, leading with the chest. Still more, and you want to turn this into more of a yin. You can drape and let the head fall down. I'm going to stay up here so I can keep my eye on all of you, even though you are not in the room with me. I can still see you. Find your breath. Close your eyes. Bring something up that has been bothering you. It may have everything to do with what is going on in the world right now. Most likely it does. Fear, anger, irritability, impatience, frustration. Bring it all up. Bring it up and out. Let yourself go into it. Feel it. And let the fire of your practice purify it. Burn it away. Let it go. Do that for 3 more deep breaths. When we purify that which we no longer want, we throw it in the mulch pile. And what is left is the sweetness of life. Joy, happiness, peace, equanimity. Equanimity coming back to ourselves, back to center, over and over and over again. Let your yoga practice support that. Start to slowly bring your torso up and unwind your legs. Find yourself on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Just rock side to side. Massage out your lower back for a moment. Bring the knees wide, the soles of the feet together. Lift your torso, take your hands and wrap them around the outside edges of your feet. Tuck your chin into your chest, straighten your elbows, and push your feet into your hands. As you can see, if you do that, your feet, your legs, lift your body up. Now let the heels drop toward the floor and let the knees open wide. Here you are rolled up into a ball, into a reclined bound angle. Bring your gaze point maybe at the arches of your feet or the inside of your heels. Find your breath. Let the breath be big here. Maybe pulsating the body into even a little rocking movement. Our thoughts and our emotions and our beliefs can actually change the chemistry in our body. It can change our pH. It can produce toxins, keeping them around for longer periods of time. So we use the body to squeeze the tissues and wring ourselves out, releasing this back to the bloodstream, back to the lymphatic system, and back to our respiratory system so that we can let it go. Consciously do that. Make that an intention for your practice. One more big breath in here. Exhale, hang on to the outsides of your feet. Let the upper body come back down and just open right up into a nice happy baby pose. You can rock side to side. It's funny when you're teaching on a video, I start to notice patterns of the way that I talk, coming into nice poses. It's a privilege that you're here with me watching these. I appreciate it. I miss you all terribly. Let the tailbone be heavy. Come into stillness. Close your eyes and let those knees come deeply down toward the floor. If you don't like holding on to the outside edges of your feet, you don't have to. You can hold on to your arches, your ankles. You can hold behind your knees. It does not matter. Let's take a few more breaths. As you bring the knees together one more time, give yourself a little squeeze. Place one hand on each knee and big hip circles, but your legs going in opposite directions. So rotating them out to the sides, back in, and then opposite. Hug them in one more time. With them hugged in towards your chest, let your knees roll over and come onto your side. Keep your knees right where they are, hugged right up towards your chest. Let your left arm be, or your right arm, sorry, be out to a T. And that left arm come across the ceiling. We snuck up on a twist. Lately, I have been doing this in class. I feel like it gets into the rib cage and the thoracic spine up in between the shoulder blades a little bit more. As you breathe deeply here, notice where you have more movement in your breath and more restriction. If you're feeling irritable or upset during this time, I think it's perfectly normal. Find some nice ways to self-soothe. So yoga is certainly one tool. You can listen to some affirmations, read some spiritual books, go for walks outside, spend time with whoever you're holed up with. Take a nap, play with your dogs, make a new recipe, and take 3 more deep breaths. From core strength, inhale your knees through center and roll right over onto your other side. Stretch your bottom arm out to a T with your knees resting on the floor, hug them up to your chest, and then open that top arm out into a twist on the other side. Find your breath. 3 more breaths. Start to notice your thoughts every day. Notice how much suffering you're creating for yourself that's unnecessary. We torture ourselves. A friend and I joke at times that we are in our own personal asylums. It's the image of a person standing at a prison gate. There's a lock on the gate, but they don't realize that there's space open on each side of the door. They can walk out at any time. You're your own prisoner and guard. So what can you let go of? We have enough real stuff that can cause suffering. Inhale your knees back up through center. Give yourself a nice little hug. Tuck your chin in one more time, roll up into a nice ball. And then let's stretch out into Shavasana for a few moments. Cover yourself up if you need to. Let the feet roll away from each other and the palms of the hands face up. So we've stretched and stressed and lengthened and strengthened and focused and breathed and energized this body to prepare for this deep rest. So let that be so. Slowly bring your awareness back to the sounds in your environment. Practice letting the soundscape flow through your awareness without hooking yourself onto any sound in particular or making up a story, just noticing. When we bring ourselves into this witness, where we welcome everything and judge nothing, we let our life's experiences flow through us like a filter. It's when we start making up stories and beliefs that we can cause our own undue suffering. Begin to deepen your breath and let that breath travel with your energy down through your arms and legs, beginning to animate your body, making some small little movements that would aid in your physical awakening. Until eventually you bend your knees and we roll over onto one side if you're not already there. Pausing here for a moment to reflect on your journey, taking maybe one little nugget or insight or blessing with you as a souvenir off of your mat. Straighten your top leg, press through your hand, and come up to a comfortable seat. Meeting me with your hands at your heart center. Prayer position, Anjali Mudra, if that feels okay. As we prepare to leave our mats for now, the formal yoga practice, stepping out into the true yoga class, our life. Please let our discriminate wisdom burn so brightly that we can make right action in any given moment, crisis or not. Let us vow and dare to return over and over again to that sense of equanimity, that place within us that we visited, that we know is there, the true nature within, so that we and all beings everywhere may know peace and be loved and stay healthy and well and be happy and experience the blessings and the sweetness of life, even in this crazy time. Free from any causes of sorrow or suffering. It has been my pleasure to share this heat-building, fire-purifying yoga practice with you this afternoon. I wish you all a wonderful day. Namaste. So at the end of each class, I have to awkwardly approach the computer and end my session. So instead of just doing that normally, I thought I would do something silly. So today I will walk on my hands and feet and end this class. Have a great day.